Creator rise, I was positive surgeon. Cosmic folks see emergence. Brain of eternal, hands on my time. Impossible prince can God watch you step in the mind. Soul triggers, power holy divine righteousness. Combined with courage, love of essence. Don't let trauma bind and block your blessings. When you behind the veil, you hear the confession. Give you limitation, corruption, fear, deception. This the age of knowing, evolution, and resurrection.
Welcome back to another episode of Talk That Crap. I'm joined by my brother, Sigma Uno. Appreciate you coming back to share your love with us, brother.
No problem. Glad to be here. Definitely appreciate your
Yeah, man.
invite. Yeah.
We're going to have an awesome conversation tonight. You know, it's a couple of things that came to me this week. I've talked to you about it. We laughed and joked about it. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But right now, I want to just talk about like living divinity. Like, why is it difficult for people to accept, melanated people to accept that they are divine, in spite or despite of your situations, your circumstances, the trauma that you've been through, the bad mama, the bad daddy, the bad birth, boyfriend, girlfriend, my kids bad as hell, like in all of that, and your true nature, you still divine. Why is it difficult for us as melanated people to accept that aspect of being we are the finite or the infinite? Why is it we understand that we the microcosm of the macro? They say as above, so below.
So below, right.
So within, so without.
So below, definitely.
So
definitely.
The ancients has told us for a long time who we are. Why do we, as melanated men and women, find it difficult to address themselves as a god, as a goddess, as a king, as a queen?
I think the basis is worthiness. I mean, even in awakening, even waking up from this whole thing, believing that we're in this place where we had been nothing, or we're subject to everything that's around us. Even waking up from that is still a need to understand, to feel worthy of what we're saying that we are, especially when it comes to understanding the position which God and Goddess. Um, for some, it's a heavy thing to even accept that word. It's been used it's been used to describe something that looms over us, or something that is constantly on us about how we are unworthy, and how our righteousness is filthy. So if we've been told that for a number of years, and we've been raised in that same mindset, and even in religious settings, it's a calling. They feel like you have to be called to a specific space. And so being called to ministry, and being called to preaching, being called a missionary, is something that you have to hear, or something that you need to be called to, not living in that persona. So it's not something that they consider you born with. We're told we're born in a sinful nature. We're all born in sin, so we embrace sin before we embrace divinity. And divinity is something that they say has to be. You have to hear it from above, or you have to hear it outside of yourself before you realize it's actually you. So learning the opposite of that, or filling in the blanks, it's you were born this because you were created by the great creator, or the most high, and you are, regardless, because you're his creation, and you're his child. And that word child, or offspring, it means a lot, because your offspring is, there's a design in offspring that is a map of DNA. So the map of DNA means that you are from a divine nature, or you're created from a divine nature. Then you have the attributes of divinity. What are the attributes of divinity? The ability to reach into the world of spirituality, to understand dimensions to understand your power and your authority. All of those things come with your birth, but we can't we can't resonate with it if we don't believe that, or if we're told something the complete opposite. I mean, if you think about grandparents, how we were raised, and how we were told religion is outside of us and we need to go seek him, or we need to go find God or find Jesus. That means he's not in you, so you need to find him so you can get it in you, instead of the reverse. The reverse is, you were born with it. It's inside of me. He that is in with he that is within me is greater than he that is within the world. Those
Mhm.
things should be taught initially, instead of pointing at you and saying, "Hey, you come from a sinful nature." No, we were born into this place, and if you really think about it, if we came to this place from the origin of the Most High, or whoever, whatever, what anyone believes, then you're coming to a damaged place. That means you're bringing light here. You're bringing light here. You didn't come to look for light. You are the light, and because you are, you came to bring light to others that can't remember or don't have it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean that's perfectly said, man. And
Hmm.
I agree with you 110%. Because we wasn't taught that when we were young. We didn't. It's difficult to identify with when you have been indoctrinated into a belief system,
Hmm.
someone telling who you are. They're teaching you who you are.
That's it.
You're
That's
not
it.
developing. You're not in a state of evolution. Not in a
No,
constant state of transformation, a
that's it.
metamorphosis and change. And I
Hmm.
use all these terminologies to share with others. Like our our animal kingdom does it. It shows it for us.
That's it.
You know,
That's
they
it.
they they show us that unity. They show us that divinity in everything that we do. Now,
Hmm.
saying that, talking about the animals from antiquity, you
Hmm.
can look up animals, or you have gods with animals' heads,
Hmm.
or you would have insects, and you would have myth and folklore around the entire globe about
Hmm.
all of these different animals, and they will
Hmm.
all have spiritual meaning.
Right. Right. Right.
They deem us to be such this animal, yet we have not defined this spiritual meaning.
Right. But they don't want us to do that. The minute that we actually connect with it, I mean, and it's weird because the world of animals, they stick to their true nature. Nobody can sway them from who they are at all, period. They are what they are, and they act as such. I mean, it don't matter if if you push three or four ants out of their direction to go field their nest. They're gonna get right back in that line, and they're gonna keep going exactly for what they know. The same with the lions, same with the tigers, bear. All of them have this nature, and they do
Hmm.
not deviate from their nature at all, period, because they were born with an instinct. We're the only ones that are convinced to pull outside of our nature. And the reason why
Mm.
is because we don't believe, first of all, we don't believe who we are. Identity is huge. Identity issues are huge with us because we've been constantly told for generations after generation that we are a specific thing. And because we
Mm.
can't find that specific thing, or the definition of that specific thing, we're still looking around trying to find this identity. When in all actuality, I mean, I have a brother, and he was saying that some years ago, he said, "Look," he said, "everybody's looking for God everywhere, but inside of themselves.
Right.
Look inside of
True.
yourself." I mean, and but the idea that we've been so far removed from all this is is a clear indication that we don't even know how to look inside of ourselves. We
Mm.
don't, because we've been far removed from us. And when I say us, I mean, look, there's more than one part of us. There are three parts of us, and I mean that's something for another day. But there are more than one part of us, and we're denying each part of us because we've been defined. We've been defined. We're trying to find. We spend years trying to find ourselves in that definition. We can't find ourselves in that definition because it's a definition that men gave, not God, not who we are, not who we exist to be.
And it's important for us to really have a good understanding of who we are, the visualization, the imagery that you go along with these stories. It has to have an impact. 'Cause even when you get into alchemy, it's the symbols that let you understand what's
That's
divine
it.
within yourself.
That's it. That's
So,
it.
the animals were the symbols to our own power. And that's
That's
how
it.
we transferred from people to people, from nation to nation, from
Hmm.
culture to culture, all around the world.
That's
We
it.
place spirituality inside of the animals.
That's
So
it.
in alchemy, they said you have to tame the beast in order to
Hmm.
bring balance in. So you have to deal, even in alchemy, you still dealing
Hmm.
with quote unquote this animal spirit.
That's it.
So this
That's it.
animal aspect of divinity, though quote unquote,
Hmm.
is supposed to be so chaotic, it is one of
Hmm.
the greatest force used in the
Mm.
cosmos.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Because they said, again, we are living divinity, which means that we are living chaos.
That's it. That's it. That's
We
it.
we are living
Hmm.
inside of cycles. We are the infinite beings that vibrating at a particular time,
Right.
and we just here having an experience. And
That's it.
along with that, so in a Kabbalion, they
Hmm.
say that all is mind.
Mm.
And I want to read something right quick when they talk about the all mind. Just bear with me for a second.
Gotcha. No problem.
They say the principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It
Hmm.
explains the all, which is the substantial reality underlining all outward manifestations and appearances which we know under them as the terms of the material universe, the phenomenon of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit, within itself, unknowable and undeniable, but which may be considered thought of as a universal, infinite living mind. It also explains
Mm.
that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply mental creations of the all, subject to the
Mm.
laws of created things and the universe as a whole, and in its parts or units has
Mhm.
the existence of the mind of the all.
So
I ain't said it.
that's so many
I,
there's
I
so
ain't
many
said it.
questions. There's so many questions with that. It's ridiculous. My first question is, whose mind are we in? If it's the
It's a
mind of the
cosmic mind.
all, there you go. If
It's an
it's the mind
infinite.
of the all, and when you connect to the mind of the all, how do you see things? Do you see things? Do you see yourself? How long does it take to attach to yourself? How long did it take to attach to the idea that is you? You see what I'm saying? There's so many questions surrounding that, and but man, I accept it 100%. I do. I accept it. I have to because that's what I believe. I believe that same thing. I think the weary part about this is, and it kind of weighs me down to look around and see others that are trying hard to get there because they believe that one specific thing. They believe that that's the end all be all level. But there are so many levels of this. It is ridiculous, and to master it in one lifetime, and depending on what you call a lifetime, the master in one lifetime is not impossible, but it's moving yourself away, moving yourself out of your own way. And when I say out of your own way, it's the way that's been created versus the actual way of who you are. And we fight with that every day. We literally fight with that on a daily basis because the times we want to break out and just do and do the things that we don't believe that's actually possible, or be something that we actually don't believe that it's possible to be. Those thoughts cross my mind literally on a daily basis, but it's not an impossibility for me. When I talk to other people, it's an impossibility to them because they can't fathom it. They were born in a system where they where the cap is the sky that they're looking at, even though they can't reach that. It's still a cap to them. It's something lower. It's something lower than what's actually above, which is the universe, and then the water that's above the sky that's in another system above another system. I mean, there's so many different levels to this, but we master. We're the creators, and masters of all those things.
Yeah, we are mind living within mind. We are
That's
we
it.
are finite aspects of the all mind. This is,
Right.
you know, and I told you about a month, I think it was about a month or so ago. I said,
Hmm.
man, what is the understanding that everybody will be a neurological pathway of the divine mind, of the all
That's
mind.
it. Right.
Everybody would have a different experience from that. No two experience will be the same.
No,
And
no.
it would still represent you living in a divine mind. You would live in a
That's it.
divine state. You would
That's it.
understood your divinity from your very nature.
That's
And
it.
just as you stated before, all animals have their nature. All
Hmm.
animals have a way of doing it. You're not going to deviate them from a
Mm-mm.
child, from when that animal is born, to how it's raised, how it conducts
Hmm.
itself, what it does every single day. They
Hmm.
condition and train that animal to be within their own nature.
That's it.
And
That's
what
it.
I'm saying, that's why I titled this "Living Divinity."
Hmm.
And can you accept or recognize you are living divinity? Because that's the
Mm.
most important thing. Can you accept and can you recognize? Do you
Right.
know you are living divinity? So
Right.
if you understood that you were living divinity and you were an expression of the divine mind, your life would stand for more than quote unquote what they told you it would. You would
Mm.
understand a history. You would have a
Mm.
connection to the cosmos in ways that you understood that you are a finite expression of the divine,
Mm.
and
And
that your
see,
actions and your thoughts should be of that of divine.
mm. And see, it's like you have to discard. You get to a point where you have to discard literally everything that
Yeah,
anyone has ever told you to in order to have
yeah,
this experience that is completely beyond the place of things that you're looking at. When
yeah.
I the best way to describe it for me is closing my eyes because I've been so conditioned to deal with what I'm looking at and believing that that's the reality that I have to close my eyes to pull out of this what they call reality.
Mm,
And even to elevate myself to a different place, darkness is necessary for me. I can't do it in a place that's lit up. It has to be dark for me, because in darkness, I can create my own image of how I believe things are and things how things should be. And connected with that, there's sound, and with that, there's color. With that, there's these sparks. With all of that, and then there's vibration. Vibration is either sound or feeling. When vibration is sound, then that means I'm speaking. Whenever I speak, I'm speaking into existence. And as I'm speaking into existence, the colors create the images. And so that's how I begin to pull away from what they say what they say existence is or true existence is here. And it has to be that way for me because I know when I'm stuck in a place, I feel like I'm stuck on a level. To gravitate to a higher level, I have to be in that mind space. Period. I have to be. And I've created so many things since then that I've learned how to pace myself and how the initially when you find out this is actually it's this is actually you doing this. I see what does manifest immediately, and I see those things that are in process of manifesting, and I don't have to rush them anymore. If I feel rushed, it's only because of the people that are around me that makes me feel like this needs to happen immediately. This needs to happen right now. So, if because I don't believe that time is a factor, everything around me is in time. So in order to accommodate things that are around me with regards in regards to time, I have to pull back again. Every night it has to be this. Every night it has to be this ritual to where it starts off with darkness. Then I see the color. Then I hear the vibration, and then I begin to
mm,
speak it. Because if I don't, then I'll submit or succumb to everything that's surrounding me.
mm,
Otherwise, I won't feel like myself as creator. I myself, Lord and Master. You see what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that's how I begin to pull away from all of this. The biggest part was meditation, and understanding chakras and understanding understanding the alignment of chakras, understanding what actual each chakra meant. And so when you look at this stuff on YouTube or on TikTok, it also is also associated with a need and a want from a person. If we are this thing that created all existence, and there is actually no need, none. There's no need. Need doesn't exist. It's I have. It belongs to me. So the need doesn't exist. So you can that's how you can tell by the people that are reaching for divinity. But when they reach for the divinity, it's to fill a need first, and then everything else follows. It doesn't work that way. Either you believe it full, if you believe that divinity is yours, or you don't believe it. It's not bits and pieces. And again, I understand people getting into it slowly but surely, but it can't start with filling the need, because the minute you feel the need, your attention is going to go away. It's going to go into another direction, and you've gotten what you actually need, and you're not going to pay attention to anything else. I think the universe is very particular when it comes to those type of things. It's like who are, and then it questions. It's like entering into the system, putting the code in, and you get into the system, and then you start acting like you don't even not even part of the system. It's like, wait a minute, who are you? Are you a fraud?
Exactly.
Did you steal somebody else's code? Because you should know how this system works if you're already in. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
So breaking
Hmm.
into the system and acting as if that you don't know how it works means that you need to go back to the drawing board. There's no code without you truly knowing how to act when you get inside of that system. And so that's how it works for me.
Mm.
That's how it works for me. But that's again, it's hard for others because everything is based on a need, and then system doesn't work either. Doesn't help either, because it starves a certain particular people out of it completely starves a particular people, and it makes them feel like that there's a need that can't be filled. When you feel like the need can't be filled, then you're not feeling divine at all, period. You're feeling like you're just completely desolated and
Hmm.
lost. You see what I'm saying? And loss has nothing to do with divinity at all, period. Divinity means completely whole and complete. It's who you are, and every part of that definition you're filled up with. You see what I'm saying? Again, not to say that because we're down here we don't go through things mentally and we don't deal with stuff mentally. We
Right,
do,
right, right, right,
but
right.
to revert back to who we are divinely, because people will
Check.
push you into to areas that that make you forget that you're divine.
Whew.
You see what I'm saying? They'll do that. They'll push you.
Well,
They'll push you there.
listen, I
Mhm.
consider that would be that would be the divine nature of me defending
Right,
myself.
right,
So if you
right, right.
happen to be
Hmm.
on the other side of that divinity rising up against you to not allow you to hurt me, then that's
Hmm.
gonna be like. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And not
it,
that's not
exactly.
a difficult thing
Hmm.
to do, because
Right.
as a warrior, and I guess
Hmm.
that's what it is too. We have so many men today.
Hmm.
They not warriors. I don't know what they doing. Everybody want to be a kumbaya, and they don't want to be a kumbaya. They want to kill you. So it's like that's not a
Exactly.
warrior, bro. Like
No.
what are you murdering for? So we have lost the state of divine when we took up the killing. So
But
it's
see,
quick to
you know
kill
what
somebody.
you know what I find in that? I find because it's the extreme, right? It's one
Yeah.
extreme or the other. So
Uh-huh.
if you're not nurturing, I mean, come on, let's go back to rite of passage. Rites of passages put a young man in a place where all of his talents were completely exposed because
Hmm.
you were helping them along that way. So when you put them out there, the expectation is for him to come back. We know when we put him out there, he has the tools that he needs in order to make it back, right?
Right.
That's not happening nowadays. It isn't. You can't even act it in a warrior status because you have to think twice. If I do this, or if I do act this way, what are the consequences? There's never been a consequence for us back then, or even as a divine person. They make it seem like this is a place of being humble, and that's it. Humble, the idea of humble is a racehorse with blinders on, making it to its destination regardless of what's in its way. They've defined humble as something like a Persian rug to be walked on and feet wiped on. It's not that way.
Nope.
It's efficient. It's powerful. It doesn't matter what's in front of me. I'm gonna do what the hell I gotta do to get where I
Anyway.
need to go and make it to my destination. You see what I'm saying? So, but things have changed. So the definition of that is ingrained in our young people, and every time when they're young, they do get out of line or they go to defend themselves, we tap them on the head and say, no, they may push a few times after them, but after a while, they're not gonna resist. They're gonna back up and be like, okay, well, I can't do this, and that's where that word "can't" comes from. I can't because they prevent me from doing from following my true nature, and that's all in suppressing divinity, period. Because the child at its youngest, or the child acting at its youngest age, is more divine than any adult that has gone through this world and been suppressed by this world. You see what I'm saying? So we see them as children in their most divine state. As they get older, as the world starts laying these rules and expectations on them, and they start reshaping the idea of who they are, then they get lost in that. When I just talking about all this makes me remember some things some conversations I had about how we need to rally around our young men and young women, because they are powerful beyond measure, and if we can help them remember that they're powerful beyond measure and
Yep.
block this world out, then they'll become they'll become divinity in its totality, instead of in its partial, or trying to go back to it. The road that we're on as we're born is a direct line. The minute that we are given wrong information, we're swayed in a different way. So we've been pushed off our road. Now we need to get back on this road, keep them on this road to where there's nothing around that prevents them from being completely divine. And
Mm,
that's what needs to happen.
I like that. I like that. And that's it. Again, we have to put things back in our communities that are essential, things
Right.
that can be where we grab the young and boys and young girls, and we really
Hmm.
show them, bring them back into a level of culture, a level of
Hmm.
spirituality, a level of science, a level of
Hmm.
craft, allowing those to allow their gifts to really come forward versus
Hmm.
want to be like someone else. They may have something inside of them that they don't even know how to develop yet, you know?
Right, right,
So
right.
just to be able to give them what they need in order to fulfill their purpose. And it's
Hmm.
important that, as you stated, sometime when you in a space where you don't even you don't not even can you not even think you divine. Nothing in
Hmm.
your life have ever shown you that you live in any
Hmm.
type of divinity.
Right, right,
So for
right,
someone
right.
like that, yeah, that would be something difficult. Yet
Hmm.
it
Hmm.
does not take away from the very nature of
No,
who
it
you
does
are.
not. No, it doesn't.
So it doesn't diminish that because
Mm-mm.
you're ignorant of your divine state. True.
Right, right.
It doesn't take it away from you.
Mm-mm.
You may
No.
be manipulated by your divine right, but that's fine. But you still can't take it away. You know. So
No. You
they
can
can
just go on a
corrupt.
different route.
Right. You
That's
can
it.
corrupt your
Hmm.
divine nature, but
Hmm.
it's still a divine nature.
That's
No
it.
matter
It
what
is.
you do, it's in its nature and it's how you shape and mold that divinity.
That's it.
That's why
Hmm.
when I was sitting under meditation and they showed that in my meditation that we are all neural links. And when you go up and
Mm.
look at neural links inside of the brain and you look at all those pathways, those are
Mm.
millions and billions of
Millions of
pathways.
pathways.
Okay?
Mm.
Those are millions and billions of pathways.
Right, 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 right,
So
right.
each of us is a link back to the divine mind. Because
That's
the
it.
divine
That's
mind is
it.
just divine. It don't know how to feel, how to think, how to
No,
do nothing. It
no,
just it
no.
just is. That's
That's
what you
it.
just
That's
heard
it.
in the all mind.
That's it. That's it.
And we
That's
are
it.
parts of the all mind, which means that we are
Mhm.
finite of that infinite mind.
Right, right.
And there's nothing that we cannot why, but that's what we is.
That's
And that's
it.
just one
That's it.
aspect of it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so if we get into the DNA and all of that, So what we're going to talk about next is that frequency. If living
Mhm.
divinity is a nature, it's an essence.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
a nature and essence that dwells within us.
Right.
Then that frequency should allow you to be at a particular place where all of the problems shouldn't weigh you down so bad.
Mm-mm.
And as you
Mm-mm.
stated, it's not like we're not going to go through anything. It's not
Mhm.
like, you won't lose a job, you won't have a bad
Mhm.
relationship. It's not like you won't have
Mhm.
to discipline your children. It's not like
Mhm.
those things won't happen. It's not like your car
Right.
won't break down. Your car won't break
That's it.
down because you are in a divine state. No, you need to fix
Mm-mm.
the car because the car
That's
broke.
it.
Just fix
Exactly.
the car.
Right. Right. Right.
What's your
Right. Right.
frequency going to be about that? So could you share a little bit about what's your frequency in living in this divine state, in your divine unity?
Mm, man, As if without measuring by number, I think the frequency is so we measure by emotions these days, right?
Okay.
So everything is
Okay.
measured by an emotion. So if you are emotionless and things happen, that would be the highest frequency setting because nothing would bother you at all. Period. So
Okay.
if it happened, if something broke down, if something blew up, you were completely emotionless because it doesn't affect you. And divine nature, you're not affected. And you're not greatly affected by. You shouldn't be greatly affected by any of that because we're the creator of all of those things, right? So if
Right.
we are the origin of all those things and it happens, boom, then why are we nervous about it, or why be scared about it, or why go hide at all, period? Because we're divine nature. Again, it's almost being emotionless about literally anything that exists because
Mm.
we already know that exists. So that's the best way I can describe a frequency of someone in their complete moment of in a complete time of divinity. Not saying that
Mm.
you should not sympathize in things that other people are going through, but not to the point that you fall with them or lay down with them. It's only to say, okay, I get what you're going through, but you're greater than that. You're more powerful than that. Everything that you're looking at, everything around you, is only temporary. You're
Exactly.
eternal. You're an eternal being. So it really has no
Exactly.
bearing on your existence either way. Everything you honor, which is the earth, the trees, the air, the water, all the rest of those things are what we honor because it's a part of who we are. So anything outside of that, it whether it bothers the person or not, again, I sympathize with what you're going through, but it does not make or break me, and it doesn't make or break you. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. We have to keep living. We got to keep affecting. We got to keep raising. We have to keep raising this level of frequency. So everybody around me, it's look. If a child is watching you live, and they're watching that you're unaffected by things around you, or that you're not completely broken by things around you, they're going to be the exact same way because you're putting out that frequency or that level of understanding to them as well. So it builds them up to a level to where it doesn't really bother me. Let's keep moving. It doesn't really bother me. Let's keep moving. I'm not saying we don't have time of moments of thought. Everybody has moments of thought because they're thinking about
Hmm.
what's how the creation continues, or what's next on the level of what's on the next level of how you're creating the world that exists around you. So I think again, from me, the description is it's almost emotionless, just about emotionless.
Mm. And I do agree with you where emotion is a frequency.
Mhm.
For me to understand the frequency is the ability to be at a state of a high love and gratitude all the time.
Mhm.
So to
Okay.
be at a state of in a frequency of love, and then I found out now being authentic is 6 times, 1,000 more times than being in love.
Right.
So
There you go.
now, being yourself in your true authentic form with
Mhm.
love goes, okay, that's how you resonate at a
Mm-hmm.
particular frequency where, my old saying is either you rise with me, change with me, or you're left behind. Like
There you
I'm
go.
not
That's it.
really tripping on wherever your
Mm-hmm.
frequency is. If you every day, instead of you understanding that you are divine, you're talking about what your coworkers did, what your boyfriend done did, not did. You're talking about what your sister, cousin them did over there, and you being so indifferent about what it is in your life that really need to be taking place and need to be taken hold of. And yet your frequency is at a point of you're pretty much just stagnant.
Mm.
Love frequency brings change.
Mm.
It's like the Honorable Ferris Lewis said, when most people deal with spirituality, they deal with water first because fire burns and fire change immediately.
Mm.
He said fire changes immediately. You put
It
fire to
does.
anything and
And
damage
it
you, it's a
changes
change happen.
immediately. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's a change happen.
Immediate change, right?
So
Mm-hmm.
that frequency of that fire that burns within us that allow us to change. That is the frequency that when you resonate on, it's going to constantly bring, change and evolution in your life. You're constantly
Mm.
going to bring growth and opportunity in your life because you're
Mm.
vibrating at a point where you're magnetically pulling things to you, and then you're pulsating out and you're attracting at the same time. So because we are electromagnetic beings, we know that we attract and send our frequency at the same time. So that's
Mm.
why we can come in, we can go get around somebody, and we be like, oh man, yo, I'm ready to go. I don't like that. I don't like that vibe. You felt that
Mm.
frequency.
Right, right, right.
You
So
go
let me
into a
ask you a
place,
question.
yeah, but
So, so when you say, so what is love by your definition?
love is the very substance fabric of consciousness itself.
Gotcha.
It's the very fabric, the essence in which all creation is.
Mm.
For me, that's what love is. It's an eternal
Gotcha.
thing. It's
Mm.
it's not a mankind has shrunk love to a feeling and emotion.
There you go. Okay, gotcha.
And love true essence, in its essence, it
Mm.
is the thing that holds all things together. It is the thing that can give you compassion. It is the thing that will give you the knowledge. It is the thing that give you understanding. It's to give you the peace. It will
Mm.
allow you to focus and to be okay. It allow you to detach from something and then not
Mm.
drag you back into something that you know is no good. Love will
Mm.
propel you in ways where your emotion is gonna it's gonna plateau
Mm.
because your emotion
Mm.
are gonna go and hold you for so long. That's why if you notice that some people go to seminars and things of that nature,
Mm.
they'll spend 5, 10,000, and they'll spend about a weekend or whatever. And that first
Mm.
3 days they come back, they super excited. By week 2, they ain't super excited no more.
No,
The
no,
emotion gone.
no. That's it. That's
But
it.
what
That's
is
it.
the substance and the essence that's going to make them go forward? What's that thing that's burning inside of them? Does love
Mm.
burn you to purify you? See, love is my purification.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the thing that allows I can love someone in all. See, most men are afraid to love because they're afraid of
Mm-hmm.
getting hurt.
That's
So they
it.
never they it's difficult to have an experience of love when you are already in fear.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to
Exactly.
love at a compassion at that
Mm-hmm.
that it breaks people. What my God, you sure
Mm-hmm.
you love me like this? And I can do it without without neglecting who I am, not stepping down and think that they're under me because I love them so much, or that they got to
Mm.
prove their love to me by doing so and so. None of that is necessary for the love that I
Mm.
give.
Mm.
That's the love that I give.
Mm.
That's a love that resonates within me. So when you ask me love as a frequency, it allows me to get up and be this way every day. Because
Every
in
day.
my nature, I have embodied love in my nature.
That's it. That's it.
So I don't know how to
That's
be
it.
nothing else except for that. And love will also
Mm.
kill you too.
Graveyard dead. Yeah,
You
I
know.
get it.
So
Mm-hmm.
when you get into these emotions, it'll take you in in the Kabbalion in the 7 Hermetic laws. They talk
Mm-hmm.
about rhythm being swayed from one to the
Mm-hmm.
other.
Right.
So, and all, but the balance is you sitting in the middle and watching.
And
And you
being
know what? I'm
swayed
not
from.
finna do that. I'm not finna.
Mm-mm.
I'm not finna entertain none of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna entertain none of that shit. Especially if
Mm-hmm.
you know that someone's doing something to engage in a spiritual energy siphon from you. They want to take your
Right.
energy based upon the emotion
Right.
or trauma they can set before you.
Mm.
It allows you to weaken your frequency of love and gratitude because you're
Mm.
defining now looking and saying, oh, look at what they did to someone, look at what they did to Trayvon, look at what they did to Eric, look at
Mm.
what they still
Mm-hmm.
doing to
That's
men and
it.
women today.
That's it. That's it. Mm-hmm.
They still doing it. They still want to affect your frequency. They want to affect your love. They know if they attack the heart, the mind gonna fall.
That's
And
it.
they know if that can kill the mind, I know you can't use your heart.
That's it. That's it.
So they
I
attack
agree.
both. They attack the mind and
Mm.
the heart because they know if they can separate the mind. That's why you find some people that say, I think all the time. I like to stay
Mm.
away from people who think all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Stay the fuck away from people who think all the time. You can't think all the time. Like, when you
No,
listening,
exactly.
you just thinking.
No, that means you're not taking anything else in. You're just you're in about literally everything. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Definitely.
No,
Right.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that frequency ought to be high. And
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing about singing bowls and tunes and tuning forks and things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they can use sound to heal the body.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Definitely.
use frequency. You know, if and now sometime when I go get ready to go to bed at night and wake up in the morning, I hit that sound bowl. Boom. I
Mm,
I
yeah.
resonate a
Breaks it.
particular sound and energy in the
Breaks it.
home.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if we learn to do that on a daily basis, after a while, it'll be a habit, it'll be a lifestyle.
That's it.
Spirituality is not something that it's not something that you attain, it's how you live.
That's how you live it. Exactly. I agree. I agree.
We once we get back and we have a generation of young men who've been taught their own way of understanding their principle and values when it comes to culture, spirit, and self.
Mm-hmm.
To love thyself, that I honor myself with the knowledge that I intake and I
That's it.
utilize it for the empowerment and enhancement of my community.
That's it. That's it. I agree. I agree. I
So when
agree.
we do that, it's going to be easier to watch young men teach other young men to teach other young men. Right now, we have to take our young men where they are.
That's it.
You know, so my
Yeah.
brothers and my sisters, if you're going through it and you don't understand how to find your frequency you want to get up, drop me a link. You can
Mm-hmm.
let me type. I'm gonna type an email up here in the chat in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just shoot us an email. We'll definitely make sure that you get the assistance that you need, quote
That's it.
unquote, to get you the assistance that you require in order
That's
for you
it.
to continue your journey. I see. I had
That's
to watch
it.
myself as well because I find
Mm-hmm.
myself because I have for so many years now. I stopped saying need and want this year,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm taking need and want out of my vocabulary, at times I realize, damn, I used to say that a lot.
Right.
So it understood the
Right.
frequency when I was saying that's why I don't use the word want and need. Because to
Mm.
use the word need, you send out a frequency of lack.
That's it. 100%. You're right.
And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, damn. So when you say I need me $50, you just told the universe you lack $50.
But you like $50.
I man, I want $1,000. Well, what are you doing?
That's it. You have.
Uh,
That's
I'm just watching basketball game right now. Well, then that's not going to allow you to
that's
get a
not going
thousand
to
dollars for you sitting down
exactly.
watching TV.
No.
So it's the frequency and how we actually envision ourselves living in that particular divinity,
That's it.
understanding that through the frequency, through everything we say, and
Mm-hmm.
for those who are here, and I want you to do this as well, Walk. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
say the word power. Say it out loud. Power, and feel what's going on in your body.
Power. Wow.
You feel that?
Yeah,
Power.
yeah, yeah.
You feel that,
A
right?
frequency, definitely.
Now, say the word fear out loud and feel your body.
Fear. Yeah, that's yeah. That should drag you to the damn ground, man. I can't fuck with it. I cannot fuck with
So,
that.
so, so
Exactly.
just by
Mhm,
what we put out into this cosmos, it
mhm,
resonated at a frequency in how it either raises us, and again, we're talking to our bodies, our avatar, on a cellular
mhm,
level.
mhm.
So on a cellular level, we're receiving frequency and we're sending waves out,
That's it. That's it.
and then we're receiving waves back.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So we have to be very careful about what it
What
is
we
that
put
we
out.
say, because
Hmm.
I've been taught that every word and every feeling has a tone, an
Hmm.
idea, and a picture.
And the picture. You have to.
I
And
said,
those they
damn, everyone is
that's
like everyone. I was
yeah,
like, oh
every last
shit.
one, definitely. I agree with that 100% because and some come faster than the others. And nine times out of ten, the negative rushes in like a wind, and that to back that off and to try to engage and put yourself back on this level of positive frequency, it's
Mhm.
harder because you've already subjected yourself to those
Yep.
things that take you that put you in a place where that you're not vibrating on the right level. Definitely.
And that's why self love is such a huge thing, and
Hmm.
why our ancestors taught the very nature of who you are. They taught you
That's
that
it.
there was an inner sun within you. They taught that you and the
That's it.
divine were one. They told you
Hmm.
stories and myth that allowed you to understand the process that you would have to go through in order for your consciousness to evolve.
That's
And
it.
since we're
That's
talking
it.
about consciousness that evolved, we're going to be
Hmm.
talking about this water consciousness. Water consciousness. Now, as I told you the other day, and I said, man, I
Right.
was sitting in meditation, man, and they was just
Hmm.
like, we just in this water consciousness.
That's it.
Now,
That's it.
now it was a couple of years ago. I took a webinar with
Hmm.
Akibalan 44 and Red Pill. It was called Soul
Hmm.
Magic.
Hmm.
And it was the first time that I ever heard anyone say that empty space is conscious.
Hmm.
I said, what?
Hmm.
He said, yeah, all this is alive.
But it's
And so I
water.
began to ponder, well, that
Hmm.
would make sense because we're speaking into the ether.
That's it. Hmm.
We speaking it. And so now we understood not only is this conscious, we understand this to be water.
Hmm.
And we understand that our avatars are 70% water.
Water. There you go. 70%.
We understand our DNA hold consciousness, but so does water.
Water. There you go. That's it. That's it.
So can you talk about, let's talk about this water consciousness when we're dealing with this living divinity vibing at a frequency inside of this water consciousness, this primordial water that we
That's it.
live in every single day.
That's it. So for me, it's been I've come to the I came to the understanding of this a long time ago, especially when trying to understand what our genetic makeup is. And there's a book called Book of Tree of Life, which you have a copy of, and
Mhm.
it talked about water. It talked about what percentage of the earth were made of percentage of water, minerals, and so on and so forth. And but then it got into a place where it talked about how it moves. Now, you've ever been to the ocean, you ever been to a lake, you see the water has if you hit the water with anything, it sends ripples, but the ripples are just because something caused the ripples. But
Mm.
there's a constant move of the water, and a river is called currents, right?
Mhm.
And there's
Mhm.
undercurrents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if the water is not moving currently, and their undercurrents aren't moving, then that means you come to a place of stagnation.
Mm.
Stagnation leaves room for algae to grow, mosquitoes fester, all type of unhealthy things happen when water is not moving, when undercurrents not happening. So because we're constantly moving, because undercurrents happening all the time in us, then we should be there should be this frequency along with it. I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
as it moves, it rides on the frequency. And if you think about the universe, it's the same thing. It's a
That's it.
constant moving thing, and it
Hmm.
clings, it keeps us going, it keeps the frequency moving, it keeps our mind clear, it keeps everything going. The minute that we stop, the minute we let something get in our way, or the minute something builds up, like if rocks fall in the water, it'll pile up, but it'll keep moving. If you put sandbags, I don't know if you know, if you ever been in a storm where you have to build sandbags up to prevent water from coming in, you
Right.
build the sandbags up, but it's of no relevance. The higher the
Ooh.
water gets, the more it continues to go, and it'll either knock the sandbags down and continues to go, or it'll rise up until it flows over. It's always moving, it's always in existence, and it's always cleaning. It's also always undercurrent. It's the same with our neural pathways, like you said. So within our neural pathways, that's what's happening.
Come on.
It's something constantly moving, constantly turning, constantly cleaning, constantly generating power. But if you've ever lived close to any power source is damned where water is. Water moves and it creates this power source. It creates the continual move of power source. That's what water does. So if you can think of water in that sense, you can think of yourself, the percentage of water that you are. You think of the idea that your brain sits in water, and you know pathways are moving that way. We are constantly moving. Even when you're sleeping, you're moving. You're constantly moving. You're constantly empowering your life from the movement of the current in your body, your soul, your mind, and your neural pathways.
Oh man.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
impossible for
You
that
you
not
was
to
on.
happen.
You talking about you were cooking. You was in there. You was in the chef, boy. You was out in the deep sea. You was out in the deep sea.
Definitely,
Yes,
man.
sir.
That's what it is. That's what it does. And if you allow it to just move, you ain't got really nothing to worry about. Just let's go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
Set
The minute
set
you
your
start,
sail. Set
that's
your
it. Set your
sail
sail
and
and
go.
go with it. Go with it.
Set your sail and go. Use the elements around you, within you, to do your thing.
That's it. That's it.
And
The
I
minute
think
you
that's
start going
a lot of
against it,
folks today, man.
mhm,
They're really afraid of that. You know what I'm
that's it.
saying? They are,
That's it.
because again, we talking about a water consciousness. You talking about a divine state of
Hmm.
awareness of itself. Not
Hmm.
only that, that your interaction with this water consciousness, you
That's it.
mold and shape reality based
That's
upon
it.
your frequency, your mental capacity,
That's it.
and what it is that you bring into quote unquote this 3D world where they say it's nothing
That's it.
but a reflection or
That's
an
it.
illusion. Whether
That's
it's a
it.
reflection or an illusion, damn it, we
That's
still inside of this water.
it.
Yeah, we
Exactly.
still inside this
Water
water.
exists. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
So
That's it.
tell me what you
That's it.
wanna until and I've actually what I started doing again, because years ago, when I first started dealing with symbology, I would put symbols all over my water.
Mm,
Like
right.
I
Oh,
would get water out of the
wow.
grocery store,
Right.
I gallons out of the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and I would put all type of symbols on there, and I would charge them overnight. So I would get the sun and the moon,
Mm,
and
mm,
then I would put the waters in the refrigerator, and then you just drink the
mm.
water throughout the week.
That's it. That's it.
So I came back to now using
Hmm.
water inside of my meditation
That's
or
it.
rituals. So
Mm,
where I'm using my intentions and frequency, and even in chants that I'm chanting inside of this glass of water, I'm using
mm.
all that, and I'm infusing all the energy inside this water. And at the end of the
That's it.
meditation, I drink the water. So
Mm,
again, I'm programming water to come in
Mm-hmm.
and interacting with the consciousness
That's it.
that
That's
I
it.
just
That's
programmed
it.
this water with.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
I'm the water. I'm still
Mm.
swimming in this primordial
That's
water,
it.
moving
That's
around,
that's it.
you know.
That's
So
it.
that this water consciousness to be totally aware of self
Mm.
and to realize, okay, we are in the age of Aquarius, means that we are coming into this whole truth and light of who we really are.
Water bearer.
And
There you go.
it's not by accident that
Mm-hmm.
the understanding of water consciousness came to me. And then when I talked to you, you said, hell
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. I was talking about this
Yeah,
water
that's it.
consciousness. I said,
Exactly.
damn, it's so that lets me know
Mm.
too, it's not a secret,
No,
you
it's
know,
not. It isn't.
because
It isn't.
I didn't talk to you about no water consciousness at all. I
No,
just told you, hey man, guess what I was just dealing with, man, this water consciousness. You said me
that's
too.
it.
And you
That's it.
described your
That's it.
understanding of what, and we sat there and we were just talking for about 10, 15 minutes
That's it. That's
about
it.
this water consciousness. I said, yo,
That's
we're gonna do this show on this water consciousness, bro. We're gonna bring this back.
That's it.
So
Definitely. Definitely.
and to realize too that
Mm-hmm.
the to realize the consciousness on a cellular level when it comes to water within our body,
That's it. That's
and
it.
to be able to use water and an electromagnetic field as
Mm-hmm.
frequency, as a way to
That's it.
raise and heal the avatar,
That's
in
it.
order to
That's
make
it.
sure that you give it what it needs, what it
That's it.
requires in order for you to do the thing that you're supposed to be doing.
That's it. That's it.
So
That's
this
it. That's
water
it.
consciousness is you can see it now because you see so many people moving differently. You see
That's it.
people waking up from like you throw some water on somebody's face. They, whoa,
Wake up. That's it.
whoa.
That's life. That's
That's
life.
how I see a lot of people are actually waking up. They're waking up
That's
like
it.
somebody threw water in their face,
That's it.
and they're
That's it.
waking up and they're realizing, oh, wait a minute, let's do this a little
Mm-hmm.
bit different.
That's it. That's it. That's it. There's a movie called Life of Pi. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but Life of Pi
What's it
was a. It's called Life of Pi.
like? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And that the
So
tiger
yeah,
on that boat.
exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah,
So the
yeah.
idea that this kid was in literally in I can't remember what part of the ocean he was. I think it was near the Indian
Well,
Ocean
he
where
was
I started.
it's somewhere over there where India at, so he was on
That's
that
it.
side.
Yeah, on that side. So the idea that he was on this water for as long as he was, and he survived from eating from the water, from falling into the water, from I mean, there were so many different things, aspects of that movie that actually
Agreed. Oh
delivered
man.
the understanding of how water is a point of preservation. Even the rain that fell from the sky, even the way he created these things where water would fall and he could drink the water. All of this was on the basis of him existing outside of supposing to die like everything else around him. You see what I'm saying? So that
Hmm.
it kind of put me in the mind of that when it first came to my thoughts before we even talked about it. It was that, and then the thing that came to my brain was, hey, think about all the time that you've paused when you knew when you trusted the when you trusted your ideas of manifestation, and then you pause as if it didn't exist or it really wasn't going to happen. That's you stagnating your own water. That's stagnating the own waves of frequency. It's you stagnating that. And regardless of how it happened, you have to go through and figure out what's blocking it up, what's causing it to stagnate. You break through that, and then it continues to flow. So those are the things that's how I came about remembering over this past few weeks
Mm.
how water flows in our life and how important that is and how vital it is for our existence, for the existence of the avatar. The same exact thing. And it's it's when you explain it like this to people, it when because I have a brother. My brother was talking to my brother about the same thing. He didn't get it initially, but then he messaged me back and was like, man, I see exactly what you're talking about. We take for granted those things, that the simple things, and it's
Hmm.
actually not simple. It's the most powerful thing because it's what we exist from. It's what our avatar was built from. It's how this world exists. And even if you talk about the origin of the world as it is, of this world as it is, it was all water in the beginning, and then the separation of the water of landmass, and we kind of clung to landmass as if it was the greatest thing, and it's not. The greatest thing was the water that keeps us afloat. Even the water above us that we call the sky, but it's water and it's living. It exists. Regardless of what's in it, it still lives and exists. It produces something. It produces things, whether it's seaweed, whether it's food for the fish. All of that exists or is created by the body that it is. You see what I'm saying? So, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge part of our existence, and it's a huge part of the reason why we're able to continue to live. Just the pollution and stuff that they put in it, it just means absolutely nothing because eventually it washes itself out and it filters itself out. Um, and all the things that people think that they're doing to it to cause problems to people, it won't ever prevail. It will always be what it actually is, and that's water. It's no damage, no hurt, no pain from it. Everything comes from it, like salt. Like my wife and I were sitting there on the beach, and we were looking at the sand that when it washed up on the shore, and there was this little crystally, and I was like, wait a minute, sand creates glass, right? You can create sand from, so you can create glass from sand. You can create anything, pretty much, literally everything. Wind, fire, like you were talking about earlier, when you put fire to it, but it changes the shape. It changes the shape of it, but it all originates from water. Same with salt, sea salt. I mean, everything you can think of that has been a stabilizer to us in our bodies and everything is exactly that. It comes from that.
Oh yeah.
Exists
And you
in it.
know what?
You know what I'm saying?
One of the parts that really had me in a life of pi was one of my favorite
Hmm.
parts because I actually
Hmm.
he slept. He had to sleep in the water
That's it,
in
because of
moving
the
current.
tide. That's
He was
it.
holding on to the boat like this right here with his head laid back, where he can just keep
Right,
his head up. Because
right.
ultimately, he knew if he got in that boat, that tiger was gonna eat his
The
ass
time is
up.
going. Exactly.
So, and then here's the other funny thing: is
Mhm.
he fed the tiger. The
That's it.
same tiger that wanted to eat him,
The one
he fed the
destroy
tiger.
him. There you go. Fed him
It
from
wanted to
what?
kill him.
That's
So
it.
that was one of my favorite parts of
Right, right.
his resilience.
That's
His
it. That's
resilience was in listen. I'm not letting go of this damn boat. I'm gonna make it back where I'm gonna get to.
it. That's it.
And yeah, I'm asleep like this. And he didn't sleep well, but he did
No,
sleep.
but he did sleep.
He did sleep.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
that was the thing for me because it
Hmm.
really brought back to understanding that every night when we lay down and go to bed, we sleep in this water consciousness. And every
Hmm.
night we astral travel, whether we remember or not.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So
That's it.
we if we don't understand how to navigate within this water consciousness that we live in, that we
Hmm.
are part of, that on a
That's
cellular
it.
level, we are that. There's no denying that.
Mm. Mm.
So, how do you handle your understanding of this water consciousness,
That's
living in
it.
divinity at a particular frequency?
That's
You
it.
have to
That's
choose
it.
that. So, whatever you're living with, whatever you're dealing with, whatever your dreams, goal, purpose, talents are, don't give up on them.
No,
Raise your frequency.
no.
If you're
That's it.
around someone and they telling you you're not able to do it, get from around that person.
Get
Get with
away. Get
somebody
away
that's
from
gonna
that
root you
person.
on.
That's
Get with
it.
somebody
That's
that
it.
got like minds. Like
That's it.
minds.
That's it.
Like minds, people.
Hmm.
Get into some
That's it.
like minds. You don't
That's
want to
it.
be
That's
doing.
it.
Because consciousness is, people put a huge thing on this consciousness thing, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
and it just being aware. Are you truly aware that we live in water? Are you
That's
truly
it.
aware that all kids inside of that sac and that fluid, that's water that they living
That's
in for
water.
those
That's
9
it.
months?
That's it. That's it.
So we understand that water sustains us, and we understand that
Hmm.
water also birthed us because the water has to break
That's
in order
it.
for us to
That's
come.
it.
We
That's
don't
it.
come
That's
through in
it.
all the water. The water got to come out.
Mm. That's it.
So
That's it.
just as we go to the bathroom, perspire, sweat, and do all these other things,
Hmm.
the water is
Hmm.
going to come out of us in one way or another. How you speak, that water is going to come out of you. If
That's
you're
it.
in a if you're in a mental, if your mental model is a
Mm-hmm.
state where it takes you into a cycle of repeating the same thing and you don't getting where you need to get. I understand that
Mm-hmm.
there's the frequency and that's your water consciousness. That's what
That's
you
it.
program your water to do. You might need
That's
to
it.
program your water to do something different. You know, your
That's it.
program
That's it.
is what I think it was Dr. Sudu, he's a little Chinese dude back in the day. And he was the first Emoto, that's his name.
Tomorrow, there
Dr.
you go.
Emoto.
That's right. I
He was the
remember.
first person. That's when I started putting the symbols and talking to my water. I had never talked to my water before because
Mm,
I thought that was crazy
right,
people talk.
right,
But
right.
when he did it and they showed it, and even if you do sound, if you put water
Mhm.
down and you make a sound and you hit a tone on the bowl, that
The
water
water
gonna
gonna
ripple. It's
move.
gonna start to make shakes. It's
That's
gonna
it.
start to do
That's it.
everything. And I'm
That's it.
saying, well, if the water doing that outside here with these tones, damn it, I know they're doing
Hmm.
something on the inside
That's
too.
it. That's it. That's it.
So
That's the
understanding that
frequency.
when
Hmm.
they're using ambulance, fire trucks, police
Hmm.
sirens, when they're
Hmm.
using all of these things, for me personally, I feel it's just a way to program your water.
That's it. 100%. It is. It is, and it's a disturbance. It's a
Hmm.
troubling of it so much to where it will not get back to its actual frequency. It won't go back to the frequency. So I mean that's why the mind frame and just the studies and my understanding of mental disturbance or behavioral health. It's the same exact thing. It's
Yeah.
the water in your mind, water in your body is so disturbed that you can't even sleep, that you're up, going, 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 constantly going, because you're in a mind frame that I just need to go, 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 and get. I can't sleep, so I'm gonna do something. So to get back to this is a centering, and that's the whole idea of meditation. It's aligning yourself, getting back to the idea that the waters in your body are calm, the waters in your mind are calm, and then you can think a little bit better. You can think more clear, and the more you do it, the more often you do it, the more stable and the more clear you think, the more clear you and the more calm you operate. Nothing really disturbs you or moves you. I mean, there are us that are born with the ability to even when all that stuff did happen, we're still able to think. I mean, considering all the trauma that myself and other people around me have been through, it's like I can still have a clear thought. I can still be calm and determine what to do from one moment to the next because it's because of our divinity, right?
There you go. Damn right.
It's because of our divinity. We're in a place that
We're
we're
living that
living
thing.
divinity. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it. That's it.
I
That's it.
mean, listen, that if again, once you understand that, as you stated earlier,
Mhm.
yeah, you will go through things. Yes,
Mhm.
something's going to happen. You may lose your
Mhm.
job. Yeah, you may
Mhm.
lose your job because actually going to another state, you may be
Another
evolving.
level. That's
You
it.
may
That's
be able
it.
to now tap into your gifts. You may now
That's
be
it.
able to focus on the business that you couldn't focus on because the job had your
That's it.
time. You may be
That's
able to
it.
start, a little side business that end up to be a big business, and now you
That's it.
replace your salary 2, 3 times over just because
That's
you
it.
stayed focused in your dream and your vision. So
That's
a lot
it.
of
That's
times,
it.
don't take when the water moves you,
Mm-hmm.
move with the water.
That's it. That's
You know
it.
what it
That's
look like
it.
when you fighting the current. You don't look like you gonna win.
You ain't getting nowhere. You just gotta let go, lean back, and let the current take you. That's what you
Swim,
gotta do.
swim with the current. That I
Swim
learned
with
to
the
swim
current.
with the current. That's what I learned to do. I learned to
That's it.
move and swim with
That's
the current. But going against it ain't no good.
it. That's it.
Ain't no good. So any
Yeah,
message, man, you want to leave for the family tonight, man? I mean, this was an awesome conversation. It really gave a
I
good
agree.
breakdown in, how to live
Mhm.
in divinity, how to
That's
understand
it.
your mental models, what that really looks
That's it.
like. What
Yeah.
is your frequency living inside of this? Are you living at a low frequency where your
Hmm.
divinity is difficult for you to recognize? Are
That's
you
it.
able to understand that you are aware we're living in a water consciousness that is
Hmm.
divine, that on a cellular level, you are 70% water which
Well, there
allows
you
you to
go.
be aware of your own divine source
That's it.
that
That's
resonate
it.
with inside of you as water. It
That's
is
it.
the
That's
substance
it.
that hold all of this avatar and this whole cosmos together is
That's
water.
it.
And you
That's
know,
it.
from the old text, even from the Kemetic text, they talked
Mm-hmm.
about primordial waters. That's all
That's
the way
it.
back at Kim.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
So
That's
they've
it.
been talking. I've been reading about primordial waters since I started studying Kim.
That's
Since I
it.
started
That's it.
studying.
That's
So anything that you
it.
want to lead to folks to understand how they should be able to access living in divinity, water consciousness, and making sure that you're vibing in a state of love, joy, and gratitude.
I guess I can say just for those that are moving to moving in this direction and have been sitting and listening to this or possibly stumbled upon it because it's something that you feel like you want to understand or you're already in the process of understanding. If they're already pushing you against the grain, relax. Just relax because the wave will begin to take you where you need to go until
Yeah.
you come back to the point to where you can swim with the current again. Because I understand life is disorienting, and initially, or you're around some people, or you're born into a family that is only an understanding of the way things are for you to only exist. We're more than existence. We're more than an existence. We are in divinity. We're living in divinity, and we are water. We are water. There's power
Facts.
in any one of those in any one of these scenarios that we've been talking about tonight. There's an immense and ultimate power, and you have
Yes.
that. The idea that you wake up and go to sleep proves that there is an immense amount of power that flows around in your body, that flows inside of your avatar, flows in your mind, that flows in your total existence. Relax. Go with it.
It's,
Go with the wave.
man, we have a voltage of about 60 something trillion voltage that's resonating inside of the
That
body.
resonates
That's what you're
inside the
talking
body.
about. When you all of these cells firing off,
That's it.
they just
Firing,
they
literally
causing all of
neurons
these.
firing.
Yeah, man,
That's it.
we are
Hmm.
walking source. We are
That's it.
walking source.
That's it.
The only thing that I would share with everyone is, you know, accept where you are. It's okay
Hmm.
that you don't see yourself in a divine state. The question
Hmm.
you ask yourself is why you don't see yourself in a divine state,
Hmm.
and what stops you from accepting that you are living divinity.
That's it.
Now, again, we're going back to the all is mind. The universe is
Hmm.
mental,
Hmm.
and if someone want to have a good understanding, the
It is.
Kabbalion.
There you
It's a
go.
simple 7 Hermetic laws, and
Hmm.
I would suggest anyone that's on their journey pick up this book. It costs you less than $10.
Hmm.
Less than $10. Get that. It is something that I have changed. I've transformed my life because of what I understood about
Hmm.
what the mind really is. And if you
That's
understand
it.
the all is mind, you
Hmm.
understand that you are the one that control the outcome. Because in here they talk about cause and effect. So you will
That's it.
understand your divinity from a place of what you cause and what can be the effect.
There you
You
go.
will
That's it.
understand a living divinity from a place of corresponding in vibration and rhythm. You will
Hmm.
understand your life in ways that you would be able to assess and say, hey, you know what? I think this is something I need to make an adjustment on. And you
Hmm.
begin to make adjustments in your life based upon your own divine merit. Your own divine
Hmm.
merit, because you're
Hmm.
going to honor your own divinity. It's something
That's
to
it.
honor your own
Hmm.
divinity. To
That's
not
it.
do it for anyone else, only
And it's
do it
not
for
vanity.
yourself.
It's not
Right.
vanity. It's not vanity. It's only recognizing and
Exactly.
realizing who you are. That's it. That's all it is. Definitely.
And you have to be able to realize who you are today.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
doesn't make no sense. You know, I always tell folks, I said, you know, the animals are who they are. You don't have to go out and tell a turtle to be a turtle.
No.
Is it we got to go out and tell mankind, you know, you're a divine state, right? You know, like what Poe
Hmm.
says, the spark inside of you is divine. Nah,
Hmm.
man. I go to church. I ain't got no, okay, I go to the mosque. I'm
There you
cool.
go.
Do you still understand that you divine inside of all of that?
That's it.
Because
That's it.
I've
That's it.
gone through those religious fields and everything like that. And I mean, I
Hmm.
got nothing bad to say about that. All I can say
Yeah.
is you have the ability to make adjustments to how you live and how you conceive the universe.
Yeah.
I taught my family to conceive where others have hoped and dreamed. So if you're
That's
just
it.
hoping and dreaming and you don't have a way of to conceive your new reality, because you
Mm-hmm.
think from that which you conceive, your ideas, that's what you think from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you out here and you're living in divinity, you're understanding who you are, and you're receiving information from the water, and you're allowing the water to take you, as Brother Sigma Uno said, sit back, relax, chill, let the current take you, and you should
Mm-hmm.
be with the current. You should
That's
be
it.
right there with the current. If if
Mm-hmm.
if the wind ain't blowing that day, it's fine. You still should be moving with the current.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
You still should be moving with the current. So with
That's
that
it.
being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us for another great conversation tonight on Talk
Fuck
That
that
Crap.
crap.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Line of haters observe and not to support, to discourage. Vision so passionate it's disturbing. Creative rise, I was positive surging. Cosmic folks, the emergence.